Okay, for our last type of problem, we're going to solve equations that have more than one log in them. So we have a property that tells us if you have log with the same base equal to log with the same base, if this much is the same on both sides of an equation, you can reduce it to just saying the x must be equal to the y, and then solve from there. So let's see how that plays out with an example. So this first example in 5 says we have log base 2 of something is equal to log base 2 of another thing. So when you have log to the same base, log to the same base, you can just state that the two expressions, x squared minus 4, is equal to 3x. Now we're going to solve this, so we have to get it equal to 0. X squared minus 3x minus 4 equals 0. And now we're solving a quadratic, so we'll try to factor. X and x, two things that multiply to get negative 4, add to get negative 3. Those would be, let's see, minus 4 and plus 1. So we'll go x minus 4, x plus 1 equals 0. So x is equal to 4, and x equals negative 1. We'd set each of these factors equal to 0 and find our two answers. Not all of them will be quadratics. The three that we're doing here in this example are quadratics. So next one, we have log base 3 is equal to something else log base 3. So if those bases and logs are the same, you can set the expressions equal to each other. So similar, x squared minus 2x minus 15 equals 0. It's a quadratic. You could use a quadratic formula if you don't know how to factor, but hopefully you do by now. So we're going to factor. Oh darn, two things that multiply to get negative 5 and add to get negative 2. I can't factor, so I do need to use the quadratic formula. So x equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared, which would be 4, minus 4 times 1 times negative 5. All over 2 times 1. So 2 plus or minus, we have 4 plus 20, so 24 over 2. And so then we have 2 plus or minus, 24 is 4 times 6. So square root of 4 is 2. We can't take the root of 6 over 2. One more step, 2 goes into everything. So 1 plus or minus root 6. And that's our answer. One more. So we have log base 4 and log base 4. When you have the same log to the same base on the side, you can just set your expressions equal to each other. And now we're going to solve this equation, another quadratic. Hopefully we can factor this one. Looks like we can. Two things that multiply to get 8 and add to get 6 is plus 2 and plus 4. So setting those equal to 0, x is negative 2 and negative 4. So the strategy here is to recognize when you have the same base of the logs and then set the expressions equal to each other.